guys, what's up? It's Antrus from Age Entertainment, and I am here to bring you our very first Transmog video. So I'm here with Antrus in Silvermoon. As you can see, he has a black and red accented plate armor as a base here, and that's really reminiscent of what the Bloodknights wear. Really matches in well with his Bloodknight tabard. Hopefully we can see one of the Bloodknight captains padding around at some point through the video, and you guys can kind of get a feel for exactly what I'm talking about. And then to kind of complement that, or brush it out a little bit more, we also have the Paladin Tier 6, which most people who have played Paladins really find to be like a iconic tier set for Paladins in general. So we have that really iconic halo piece and the shoulder guards that kind of just really rest nicely upon the set, I feel. So as we do a slow pan here, you can see that we have the fell steel gloves. I chose those just because they're a nice, more delicate, streamlined look for Blood Elves, and I really feel that the bulky gloves do not look great on them. They do work in some transmog pieces, but not a lot of them, I find, just because they're too big and bulky, and Blood Elves really aren't about that kind of lifestyle. And then we have the Aegis of the Sunbird, which, as you can see, has some green accent pieces, which I don't really love. If it were up to me, they would definitely be red, or maybe just a light gold kind of thing, kind of like the shoulder plates here. And as you can see, there's the captain that I was talking about before. He has his red and black and his nice Bloodknight tabard. He's looking fabulous, looking strong. Watch him strut his stuff. Awesome. And then I didn't even realize this until just now. He has the flaming sword. I have the flaming sword. It all just works out peachy keen. And again, this is Blaze Fury. It is from a blacksmithing recipe way back in BC, but we'll get into a little bit more of that in just a moment here. So I'll do one more quick pan around just so you guys can see the whole set. We'll unsheath a little bit here. Oh, and of course, the bright red belt that you see on him is the Thorium belt, which we can talk about first. So the Thorium belt is a blacksmithing item. A lot of the pieces of this set are from blacksmithing, but I've provided alternative ways to get the pieces for each piece, just so you're not really limited to what you can find or where you can find it. So again, the Thorium belt is blacksmithing. It is BOE, luckily, so it only costs 8 thorium bars, so if you can find a blacksmith with the pattern, you can easily obtain this these days. And we will go into a little bit more about the set here. So, to start off, we have the Crown of the Empowered Fate. Again, that classic iconic Tier 6 Paladin Halo Helm thing. I did the Crown of the Empowered Fate because the Tier 6 helmet was just so elusive to me. I couldn't get it, and then when it finally would drop, I'd be in a group with somebody else and they would take it. So I just ran Black Temple by myself, and it drops off of the Essence of Anger. It took me, I believe, 2 or 3 tries to get it. So looking it up, the stats, it has about an 18% drop rate, so I guess that's pretty much spot on for what you would expect. Next up, we have the Lightbringer shoulder guards. Now, this is, of course, the Tier 6 Paladin tier token. Luckily, though, you can get the off-piece, which is the Vengeful Gladiator set, and you can either get that for honor, or I believe you might even be able to buy it with gold these days. I'm not exactly sure. But if you're a Death Knight or a warrior that's trying to bring this set together, then you can definitely get these pieces elsewhere besides just Paladin tier. Now, next up, we have the Dark Iron Plate, which is that really nice Blood Knight black and red that I was talking about before. So this is a BOP blacksmithing recipe. So unfortunately, if you're not a blacksmith, you're not able to get the dark iron plate, but there are a lot of lookalike pieces that you can get. So one of the lookalike pieces, and probably the easiest to obtain, would be the Torn Heart Family Tunic. And that is a quest reward from the Shadowmoon Valley quest line, the Cipher of Damnation. And that is a multi-part quest line, and I believe that is from the second phase in the quest line. Next up we have the Fellsteel Gloves. Now again, I was just talking about how these are a lot slender, they look a lot sleeker, a lot sharper on a Blood Elf, I find. If you looked at the same gloves on a Tauren Paladin, they would look a lot bulkier, they would look weird, it wouldn't look as good in my opinion. Now these are BOE items from blacksmithing, so again, you just need to find a blacksmith, and the mats these days are pretty cheap. It's only 6 Fellsteel bars to craft. So again, pretty easy to find a blacksmith and get the 6, not sex, Fellsteel bars. Next we have the Dark Iron Leggings, and then unfortunately again it's the same deal with the Dark Iron Plate. These are BOP blacksmithing, so if you're a blacksmith you can't get these exact leg guards, but what you can get is a look-alike. They look at the exact same. It's probably easier to get at this point than finding, rolling blacksmithing, finding the patterns, and then going to the Dark Iron Forge, even if you are a blacksmith. But it is the Thwart the Dark Conclave quest, and that is also in Shadowmoon Valley. And it awards a look-alike called the Rune Sekthlon leg plates. And I'll have a link to those and all the items in this set in the description, just because I probably butchered the pronunciation on that. So next we have the Wraithplate Treads. Now these didn't come out until Wrath. They are a Wrath dungeon drop, and they are from Jandis Barov in Shkolaments, and it has about an 18% drop rate. Any other black boots would probably work well. If you're a blacksmith and you wanted to stick with the dark iron, you could probably get the dark iron boots, and that would probably work well with the set as well, or just a full black boot. I am personally a big fan of this style of boot. I try and use it in almost all my transmogs. I just really love how it has kind of like the knee pad built into it. I don't know, when they first released these boots I thought they were really cool looking, and they looked very knightly, I guess. It works perfectly with the Blood Knight set. So next up we have our weapon, and that is Blaze Fury. Oh, there goes my twin again. Hi, twin. So Blaze Fury is another blacksmithing item. This one is the original one from back in the Burning Crusade, when you had to be a master swordsmith in order to craft it. These days you can get Blaze Fury Reborn, which is a BOE item, and it is again made by blacksmiths. But the mats are probably a lot easier to obtain. You can definitely get the recipe from any blacksmith. It has 2 previous phases, which is Blaze Guard, and then, or Blaze Guard might be the second one. Anyways, there's 3 stages to this sword, but definitely worth it for the look, I think, and this looks great in a lot of other like fire-based transmogs in my opinion, so definitely just a good all-around sword to have, in my opinion. As you can see, I have the fiery enchant illusion on it, just to kind of bring the whole thing, just has like a nice, really cool fiery look to it, in my opinion. And to close off the set, we'll talk about the Aegis of the Sunbird. So again, not great because of the green gems and the green accent pieces, but I really find that it's the best gold shield that isn't a giant, weird-looking face to have on the set. And it's so minuscule that most people probably wouldn't even notice it unless you're super OCD, in which case I'm really sorry, because you're probably going crazy right now. But the Aegis of the Sunbird drops from High Botanist Freywin, which is in the Botanica, and it has about a 17% drop rate, so not too bad. It would take you just a few runs in order to get it, and that is a heroic, so you can reset it up to 5 times, I believe, in one day in order to get what you're looking for. So again, just a really cool, what I feel is a nice Blood Knight Paladin set. We'll just do another little turnaround here for Antrus. Again, that poor green shield. Oh, and the last item that I neglected to talk about was obviously the Bloodknight Tabard, which unfortunately, if you're not a paladin, you're not able to obtain unless you were lucky enough to get one back when the quest glitched, which was, I believe, in either late Wrath or early Kata. The quest to get the Bloodknight Tabard got a little bit glitchy, and other classes were able to obtain it. But if not, just any kind of black tabard, or possibly even no tabard at all, would also look really good with the set. Alright guys, well, I have been Antrus from Age Entertainment. I really hope that you liked our first Transmog video. I hope that you liked the Transmog itself. If you have suggestions to improve it, or things that you would do differently, definitely let me know in the comments. We're trying to figure out the formatting for these kinds of videos in general, so tell me about what you would like to see in formatting, if you would just like silence and then music and some links in the description to what you're looking at, or if you would prefer that we talk about the sets. Let me know. Alright, thanks guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one. Bye.